From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Welcome, viewers. I feel it's always much easier to blame your political adversary when the fact is that you lack the will to enforce the law which you were sworn to do, which you swore to do. What is going on in Bengal and Bihar, you ask? Well, for a few days now, there have been relentless communal clashes. And in both cases, the state governments of Mamata in Bengal and Nitish in Bihar seem absolutely unable to handle the situation. More aggressively than Nitish, Mamata has blamed the BJP, calling it a danga-baz party, a party of rioters. The BJP is not pulling back. It can sense that Mamata is on the defensive, and it is using every opportunity to expose what it calls a relentless politics of appeasement. Let's be specific. Minority appeasement. Has Mamata Banerjee lost all control? Is she so into appeasement that she cannot impose the will of the state or show the power of the state? Is she helpless because of her own vote bank politics? Or is it that the BJP, in order to consolidate the Hindu vote, the majority vote, is pushing her to the brink by organizing a series of Shobha Yatras that started with Ram Navami? Either which way, I will re-emphasize this again, my own view. It is much easier to blame your political adversary when the reality is that you lack the will to enforce the law that you were sworn to do. Let's debate, ladies and gentlemen. So many of you have been calling and asking about the situation, specifically in Bengal and now in Bihar. Douse the fire, I say, but these chief ministers must take the first step. Debate number 2 tonight. Apparently, Sharad Pawar has told Rahul Gandhi to keep shut on Savarkar. How long will that continue? This issue exposing the fault lines. Debate number 3 tonight. The Prime Minister at a CBI event says, go relentlessly against corruption. Debate number 3 on what seems to be the agenda for 24. And here are the headlines this Monday evening on The Debate tonight. From Nalanda in Sasaram to Howrah in Hooghly in Bengal, communal violence keeps the two states on the edge. Political parties trade charges over the violence. Who is really fanning the communal flames? Vadra Congress completely cornered, cracks in the opposition as the insult to Savarkar becomes a national debate. Devendra Fadnavis gives it back to Rahul Gandhi. Rally on Savarkar gets a massive response in Maharashtra.
कि सरकार के हर फैसले, हर प्रोजेक्ट सवालों के घेरे में थे। करप्शन के हर केस में पहले के केस से बड़ा होने की होड़ लगी हुई थी।
The Prime Minister continues his relentless attacks, says dynasty politics and corruption go hand in hand.
दुर्भाग्य से गुलामी के कालखंड से करप्शन की एक लेगेसी हमें मिली है.
And in this stinging attack, he reminded the Congress of its corruption legacy, of the destroyed banking system and the fugitive economic offenders. So many calls I received over the weekend. What's happening in Bengal? What's happening in Bihar? Well, in Bengal and Bihar, there have been relentless clashes, and in the aftermath, there continues to be an attempt to provoke, to polarize, and to divide. Are some using the violence to play vote bank politics? Why is Mamata not acting as tough as she should have? Let's debate.
In Bengal, after stone pelting and arson in Hooghly on Sunday evening, a BJP MLA was injured in the violence that ensued. Today, the state BJP president was stopped from entering Rishra by the police, citing Section 144.
हम जहाँ पे हैं यहाँ पे 144 नहीं है, जहाँ जाना चाहते हैं वहाँ पे 144 नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी पुलिस हमें जाने के लिए रोक रहे हैं।
Mamata Banerjee is accusing the BJP of creating riots.
160টা সেন্ট্রাল টিম পাঠিয়েছে, বাংলায় এসছে, 5 স্টার হোটেলে থেকেছে, ভালো মন্দ খেয়েছে, দাঙ্গা বাঁধিয়েছে, বিজেপির ঘরে গিয়ে মিটিং করেছে, বাড়ি ফিরে গেছে। আসলেই জিজ্ঞেস করবেন 100 দিনের টাকা কোথায় আগে দাও, তারপরে বাংলায় আসবে দাঙ্গা লাগাতে।
The BJP is accusing Mamata Banerjee of appeasement.
जब 2 दिन पहले रामनवमी के जो शोभा यात्रा में जो हावड़ा में जो घटना घटी थी, उसके बाद 2 दिन बाद उन्होंने क्यों प्रोटेक्शन, पुलिस का प्रोटेक्शन नहीं दिया, ये बहुत बड़ा एक क्वेश्चन मार्क है। इसका मतलब है कि appeasement politics बंगाल में चल रहा है।
Hearing a PIL filed by Subhendu Adhikari, the Calcutta High Court sought an action ticket report from the West Bengal government on the clashes in Howrah during the Ram Navami by Wednesday.
In adjacent Bihar, there is a similar collapse of law and order.
जी राशन दवाई लाने गए थे, दोनों भाई मेरे भाई के सामने मेरा दम तोड़ दिया, गोली लगा, वही लास्ट बात बोला। उस समय हमको लगता कि मेरा भाई खत्म हो गया, लेकिन गांव वाले को बोला चलो हॉस्पिटल लेके, हो सकता है बच जाए वो। बस उम्मीद पे ले गए थे। लास्ट बोली इसका यही था, भैया बचा लो, बस और कुछ नहीं बोला।
In Sasaram in Bihar, there was a bomb blast. The Home Minister raised the issue when he was in Bihar last evening.
जिस प्रकार की व्यवस्था यहाँ पर शासन में बनी है, मुझे बताइए, जिस सरकार में जंगल राज के प्रणेता लालू प्रसाद यादव की पार्टी उपस्थित हो, वो सरकार बिहार में शांति ला सकती है क्या? बताइए, ला सकती है?
The Mahagathbandhan claims the BJP is vitiating the atmosphere.
जहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है जिन राज्यों में, वहां आप जाते हैं, आप वहां के मुख्यमंत्री से बात करते हैं, राज्यपाल से नहीं बात करते हैं, मुख्यमंत्री से बात करते हैं। और यहाँ जो है आपने वो प्रोटोकॉल तोड़ दिया। मैंने इसका क्या, ये एरोगेंसी का क्या मतलब है? खास करके जब से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार दिल्ली में आई है, तब से पूरे देश में एक कम्युनल माहौल जो है बना हुआ।
Now, the Hindu Front for Justice has filed a petition in the Supreme Court demanding an inquiry into the violence during Ram Navami procession in Bengal, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana and Gujarat. Who was trying to communalize the situation? Let's debate.
Swapan Dasgupta, senior BJP leader from Bengal, former member of parliament. Swapanda, good evening. You know, on a broader level, since that news package was on Bengal and Bihar put together, the argument being put is that wherever the BJP is not in power, where there are elections impending, and especially where it hopes to increase its tally in 2024, it's trying to polarize the situation to put the Hindu vote together. And more or less that's the idea both in Bengal and in Bihar, which is why you have these Shobha Yatras going on since Ram Navami.
Well, you know, Arnab, you can always attach conspiracy theories into these. But I think sometimes the simple explanation works far better. What we are witnessing, at least as far as Bengal is concerned, and I dare say it's probably true as for Bihar as well, is that we are seeing a very simple collapse of the administrative machinery. And the collapse has taken place not on account of what has happened in on the Ram Navami processions. The collapse has taken place as a result of a cumulative series of misdeeds of this government. Their sins of omission mainly, and the result of it is the complete absence of any proper administrative oversight into what could potentially have been dangerous situations. Where the events in Howrah, for example, where the disturbances took place in Howrah, there had been disturbances last year. What does the administration do under such circumstances? It ensures that there is double vigilance. What did this administration do? It had a complete indifferent attitude towards this, as if encouraging people to say, let this go on, let this go on, let this happen. And then we can see, we can probably cook on the communal cauldron. That's precisely what has been happening in this. Ram Navami has been made into a contentious area by the Trinamool Congress with its own suggestion that this is a tradition which is completely alien to Bengal. That Ram is something which does not belong to Bengal. It has been made into such a way so that there has been a tacit encouragement to hoodlums from another community to actually say, go for them, go for them. They are members of the BJP. They are our political adversaries. They are our political enemies. Just go for them. And that's precisely what has happened.
Well,
it has happened in Howrah. It has happened in parts of Hooghly district, in Rishra.
No, but Dr. Dasgupta, truly, have Ram Navami processions really been part of the cultural folklore of Bengal? When you were growing up in Kolkata, were there Ram Navami processions that were carried out, which went through various areas, including through minority areas? Or is this a new revivalism? I'm not passing a qualification on whether the revivalism is good or bad.
I understand your question, Arnab, perfectly well. There are traditions which date back to 200 years, 300 years, 400 years, or even longer. And then there are traditions which start off much later. If you look back at the turn of the 20th century, there was no Ganesh Chaturthi in Maharashtra. It was a creation of Lokmanya Tilak, completely. What we see in terms of the Ganesh festival in Maharashtra is totally and entirely a creation of Lokmanya Tilak. Likewise, in West Bengal, since 2016, there have been an increase in the number of Ram Navami processions. Is this illegitimate?
No, I'm not suggesting it is.
Yeah, the question I'm asking is, just because you cannot date something back to 1920 doesn't make it illegitimate. But in the 1920s, you had a fracas over what used to be called the music before mosques. Now that problem does not arise anymore. So let's not get into history. History is a very contentious area here. And history will tell us that since 2016, on their own, large numbers of people in West Bengal, and they are Bengali-speaking people, they are Hindi-speaking people, and they may be others using other languages as well. They have been participating in the Ram Navami as a big Hindu festival of consequence.
Dr. Dasgupta.
The question really arises is this illegitimate?
No, I'm not suggesting in the least that it is illegitimate. I, for one, Dr. Dasgupta, am very clear that pride in being a Hindu or pride in Hindu culture or in the history of the Hindu religion is integral to the rights of every Hindu as a free citizen of this country. So I don't hold those pseudo-secular views on this being revivalism and dangerous and mob frenzy, etc. I don't say that. However, since you used the words oversight in your first answer, and you also followed it up by saying things which create a dangerous or potentially dangerous situation. When a situation is created, allow me to complete. When a situation is created, let me give the example of Shaheen Bagh and CAA, and we used to talk at that time and say, look here, these people irresponsible at Shaheen Bagh are creating a situation that is potentially inflammable. And when the fires burn, it is the central government under the Delhi police which will be forced to intervene, which is exactly what happened. You see, Dr. Dasgupta, those who create the situation don't take responsibility for law and order. Now, it's the reverse situation in Bengal, isn't it? Where the BJP is accused of provoking the situation, and you are sitting on my program and saying it should be Mamata Banerjee who should handle the consequences of it.
Mamata Banerjee is entrusted with overseeing the law and order situation.
As you are in Delhi, as you are in Delhi, Dr. Dasgupta. As you were in Delhi during Shaheen Bagh.
I was in Delhi for a few days in Shaheen Bagh. Now, in Delhi, would you have made the argument that the CAA should not have been passed because certain people in Shaheen Bagh would potentially have thought it was dangerous? Would you have rather not said that? Why is it the case that a completely innocuous thing which had no implication whatsoever for the Muslims of Delhi, why was it interpreted in such a way so as to make it look that certain people are going to be deprived of their citizenship? That's the question we should be asking. The question here in West Bengal is not why people are celebrating and commemorating Ram Navami. The question which should be asked is, why does Mamata Banerjee potentially think that every assertion of Hindu pride is something illegitimate and should not be accorded the necessary administrative protection which is due to any legitimate procession of the people?
But you also...
That's the question I'm asking.
No, but you also use these words, pliant instrument of stone throwers. Have you used the word? No, who is, why are you, is this word stone thrower a metaphor for what and whom? Is it a metaphor for a community? Is it a verbal cover for whom?
You know very well
who are the stone throwers?
The stone throwing is. I don't have to spell it out categorically.
You have to spell it out. Why don't you?
You've covered enough of the stone throwing of people who believe that they are doing their own intifada. You've seen that. And this is precisely what happened in Howrah. From buildings, from minarets where stones were thrown. You also saw it in Risha, where you saw the bloody faces of people. You saw it in various other parts of Park Circus, where people carrying saffron flags were beaten black and blue.
Yeah, but Swapan Dasgupta, Swapan Dasgupta, you are often always, you are anyway, you are described as the one person who presents this very English-speaking, mask to dangerous right-wing thinking.
If you want to, I'll speak in Bangla.
You and I can speak in Bangla, but even when the BBC documentary, they said that they put Swapan Dasgupta there so that he could use his Oxford English to cover up for his dangerous thoughts. My question is that you speak of...
dangerous.
They say that you are this Oxbridge version of a dangerous right-winger, and you are used as a mask by your party to hide its more dangerous pursuits. This is their argument against you. Anyway, I don't mean to provoke you personally. My question to you, Dr. Dasgupta, is this. You speak of people who are pliant to stone throwers. Why don't you speak of weapon wielders? Because the argument here of the Trinamool Congress is this, that there have been lots of videos of youth brandishing weapons in the Shobha Yatra. Do you justify that too?
Well, most of these swords, if you look at them, are actually made of tin foil.
Come on, that's a very facile argument. Have you checked it? How do you know it?
I have personally been
to some version you believe.
I have been to some of these Ram Navami things in Chinsura, where I was carrying a mace which was made of cotton wool. So that's not the thing. So there are various things. But the rather important question which is there is that why have you created a situation where a significant section of the population believes that the only way they can be heard, that their pride assuaged, if they carry weapons. And if they are carrying weapons, I believe that the administration should have taken immediate action against them. They should have taken immediate action against them. That's what the administration is there for. Okay. This is not a communal issue here. What we are talking about is the complete lack, the callousness of an administration which cannot protect its own citizens. We had a bizarre situation where something like 7,000 kilos or something absurd like that of ammonia nitrate was discovered being peddled in the heart of Calcutta. We had a bizarre situation where 2 infants have been killed, and the head of the National Commission of Child Protection is being beaten up by people, by the police itself. This is the type of administration what we are seeing. We are seeing an administration where half its people are on strike because they want a greater, a more humane or more decent level of dearness allowance. We are seeing an administration which looks the other way while there is a complete fraud which is being perpetuated and under the name of examinations, public examinations. We are seeing mountains of cash being discovered in the houses of ministers. We are seeing small-time, small-fry functionaries of the ruling Trinamool Congress become overnight millionaires, having assets worth more than 10 crores overnight. And that's the overall environment in which this collapse has taken place. So what I'm suggesting to you, Arnab, is that yes, we must certainly look at the ugly manifestations of what has taken place. But at the same time, if we want to get to the root cause of what's going on, we will all have to grudgingly admit that there's been a complete breakdown of the law and order situation. There's been a complete administrative breakdown. And that, unless it's addressed very, very fast, will mean that Bengal will slide once again into the road to anarchy. And Bengal has a long history of that, as you well know.
Well, my only hashtag is tonight, and that's my sentiments exactly. Douse the fire. Swapan Dasgupta eloquently setting up the debate. Thank you very much. And takes me to Jaiprakash Majumdar, spokesperson of Trinamool Congress, joining issue tonight with Priyanka Tibrewal, Tathagat Roy, Ajay Alok, and Kamru Chaudhary and Shika Chaudhary. Mushika Mukherjee are on the debate. Jaiprakash Majumdar, the BJP says if you can't run the state, stop blaming them. If you can't run the state, if you can't manage law and order, don't blame them.
No, we can run law and order absolutely properly. But I want to show you a photograph first. What Swapan Dasgupta just said. It is a photograph of Dilip Ghosh brandishing a sword. It is of tin foil.
Where is it? Priyanka Tibrewal and Tathagat Roy on the left, please watch. What is he showing? I'm not authenticating a photo. Bring it to the middle of the screen. Can you see that, Ms. Tibrewal? Little bit. Yeah, okay. Hold it there. Ms. Tibrewal, what is the sword he's holding? How do you know that's a real sword?
See, Arnab, on the day of the procession, in most of the procession, the sword and we had Trishuls, they were all made of tin foil. And
tin swords. She's saying it's made of tin.
Mr. Jaiprakash Majumdar has to get a certificate to prove that what it is made of.
She's saying it's tin foil. She's saying it's tin foil.
Yes, it could be. It is tin foil. It is. Yes, it is tin foil. You have to, the onus is on you to prove that it is not tin foil and not on us. And then what was your police doing over there?
You are a liar. You are a liar. You are lying.
Why did they snatch away?
You are a liar.
You are a liar.
It's a lie.
Please.
Lie.
Everyone knows about
Jaiprakash
Majumdar.
I am telling you, I was at that
you were a
time.
Hindu and today you are not.
I was at that point of time.
Okay, Priyanka Tibrewal, I give 30 seconds. I give 30 seconds to Jaiprakash Majumdar to complete his point. Who calls Priyanka Tibrewal a liar on the program? And Tathagat Roy will also join the issue.
Real sword.
Priyanka, hold it. Priyanka, let him complete. Priyanka, let him complete. Priyanka, let him complete. Priyanka, let him complete. One side at a time. Priyanka, let him complete. Yeah, complete your point.
One thing I want to tell you, Arnab, about Swapan Dasgupta. You have rightly said, Oxford English to hide so many ill thoughts. What he said, you know, it's a English, again he has made a mistake. He said new tradition and old tradition about, you know, observing Ram Navami. Arnab, do you know anything called new tradition? Tradition itself is which is old. 3-4 years you cannot make a tradition. You can make something willful even to disturb Bengal peace. It cannot be called a tradition. What is called tradition? Durga Puja is a tradition. For 4 years, BJP is taking out armed processions on Ram Navami, which Bengal never seen, taking out those things and entering masjid areas with DJs, disturbing peace. This is not tradition. This is simple way of disturbing the peace and communal harmony of Bengal, because they could not come to power with popular support. They want to polarize. They want to polarize the vote. They try to do it in Bengal, in Bihar, and Maharashtra. 3 main states.
Well, the BJP in turn, I get Tathagata Roy also to respond to you. The BJP in turn, Jaiprakash Majumdar, says you are a party of appeasement. They are saying that you don't want to act against some people because you want to defend your vote bank. And you are making what is a law and order situation into a religious issue. Because Mamata Banerjee says this is happening at a time when Muslims observe Ramzan and cannot be involved in any wrongdoing. So she has absolved any member of the Muslim community already. Why was religion brought in by Mamata Banerjee into what is essentially a law and order issue? I'd like to take Tathagata Roy next on that, and then I'm opening up the debate. Yes, please, Tathagata Roy.
Yes, what Mr. Jaiprakash Narayan said is very interesting. In fact, he is very peculiarly well placed to represent the actual situation, because right now he is arguing on behalf of Trinamool Congress, while he fought the 2021 elections with a BJP ticket and got kicked and thrown into a RB plant. But I let it pass.
Correct.
See, I am just putting a couple of questions to Jaiprakash Narayan, whoever is in charge of this debate, whoever is representing the Trinamool Congress from this side. Number one is that there was a fracas last year, the very last year, at this very location. In that event, why wasn't the police intelligence sufficiently warned about what was happened, what could have happened here, and why didn't they deploy sufficient forces so that this kind of thing would not happen? There is no answer to that. And to reinforce the point that you made a little while back, that Mamata Banerjee had said that the Muslims do not do any wrongdoing during Ramzan, thereby implying that they are free to do the wrongdoing times other than Ramzan. But I'll let that pass also. But she had said something more momentous. I think about a year and a half back, she's used the word in Bengali, dudhel gai. Dudhel gai means a milch cow. And she was referring to a particular community. I need not be explicit about who the dudhel gai is. So she has made her bias quite clear. In such circumstances, can you rely on such a person to take care of the situation?
Kamru Chaudhary responding. Kamru.
Dudhel gai and Hindus khatre mein are narrative. Yeah, Hindus khatre mein hai, that also rhetoric is coming from the Bharatiya Janata Party side.
Hindus khatre mein hai is the first time I'm hearing.
Ramadan and the Hindus
this is the first time I'm hearing.
Protect Muslims.
What sir, Mamata Banerjee had said really amounts to saying that Muslims are free to
spreading out a communal out here in
Is that what you are saying?
Basically, Arnab, you see, one thing, this has got nothing to do with religion. BJP thinks Hindu votes are becoming secular. Mamata Banerjee thinks that is Muslim votes are deserting her. So this binary had to be created, and it had been created in such finesse that today you heard the speech of Mamata Banerjee wherein she was inciting the Hindus more. what particularly from a neutral perspective you hear it, you will see that the chief minister of a secular state talks about Muslim areas. Wasn't it her duty to stop saying the Muslim areas? What does she mean by Muslim areas? Wasn't her responsibility to stop the ghettos, to stop all communities living in peace in Bengal? What is the nature of these Muslim areas, and why can't Hindus go into the Muslim areas? Why was this polarization created by Mamata Banerjee in the first place? And why should the Muslims be afraid of the Hindus? This was a deliberate attempt by the BJP and the Vishwa Hindu Parishad to go with DJ singing Chaiya Chaiya at iftar time on Muslim areas. This was a deliberate attempt by Mamata Banerjee's police not to act to stop the communal violence of rioting. And you know, Arnab, who are the people who lost during these riots? Those poor thelawalas who were selling fruits, who were selling hardware items on the street vendors.
Kamru, you want me to be very direct?
They have lost their belongings.
Kamru, you want me to be very
everything.
direct? You want me to be very direct? Let's not beat around the bush. Shikha is on the debate.
Yes.
1 minute. I've got Shikha and Jayaprakash ji. Jayaprakash ji, 1 minute. Let's look at the situation in Bihar also today, where Ajay Alok is live from today. The situation is that after the 1st of April, I want to run some pictures, viewers. What's been going on over the weekend in Bihar? What's been going on over the weekend in Bengal? Why are Ram Navami processions the targets? Why is nobody asking why are Ram Navami processions being targeted? Why is it a crime? Is it a crime to celebrate Ram Navami in this country? Is it a crime today to carry out a Ram Navami procession? Is it a crime today in this great country of ours to say Jai Shri Ram on the streets of this country? Are Hindus not allowed to do that? Just saying Jai Shri Ram or celebrating vocally and visibly Ram Navami, is that a cognizable offense in this country? Is this the level of pseudo-secularism that we'll go after? And one more point. No, sir,
of Jai Shri Ram,
Sir, listen to me. If my point is, why won't you ask?
Sir, loudspeaker heads azans from mosque, they don't provocate us. Then how come chant of Jai Shri Ram provocate someone? When the azan on loudspeakers, they don't provocate us, then how
because
come Jai Shri Ram be a provocation for someone else?
Because you have reduced Jai Shri Ram to a war cry.
Oh, is it?
That is the
then
problem.
In that case,
Jai Shri Ram becomes a war cry.
You must
then
know
in that case,
that.
So if you were to say 1 minute, just 1 minute.
Of course, it has become a war cry.
Priyanka, on that, I must have the debate.
Because of this war cry.
Just 1 minute. You made that clear. I'll tell you one thing. Now I'd say, about which other religion would you say that an invocation like Jai Shri Ram or equivalent invocation in any other religion would be seen to be a war cry? Why is it that a vocal and visible manifestation of your faith and pride in being a Hindu becomes the equivalent of a war cry? And Ajay Alok, if a vocal and visible manifestation of any other religion's member having pride in being a member of their religion would be a representation of the great secular diversity of this country. But in the case of Hinduism, it becomes a war cry. It becomes mobocracy. It becomes an unhandleable situation. People will compare it to Mussolini. I mean, there is no end to this now. Why is nobody asking, Shikha, for example? And the question, why is nobody asking, for example, can't Nitish handle the situation in Bihar? Why can't he handle the situation? Why doesn't he give a free run to his police forces? Why are the police forces restrained, whether in Bengal or Bihar, from taking complete action as they should? That is the question you want to avoid. Jay Prakash, you can raise your hand out there. None of you want to answer that question. Why is there a go-slow? Ask Ajay Alok today. Is there a go-slow in Bihar?
I want to.
Is there a go-slow in Bihar, Ajay?
I want to. You are not allowing it. I want to.
You want to what?
There has been a go-slow in this country for the last 75 years. There has been a go-slow in this country for the last 75 years. Every time, see, first of all, this time it's not riots. It's skirmishes, it's clash, which has been happening in this country for the last 75 years. And you know, the peculiar thing about this country, there is a minority and a majority clashes going on all around the globe, mostly 35% of the countries. But India is the only peculiar country where majoritarians are beaten, where majoritarians' houses are being burnt. This is the peculiar situation in India. And this is the courtesy of our politicians for the last 75 years who kept on hampering one particular section of the society in the form of super citizen. they can do anything, they can have their waqf boards, they can take anything, they are the first graded citizen, even by the socialist or by the Congress. This is the matter of the fact. And today, in the last 10 years, when suddenly you are trying to make them as a common man like every Indian is, there is a problem. How can you do that? How dare you do that? You cannot do that. How can you make your Ram Mandir? How can you do the Kashi Vishwanath corridor? How can you do Mathura? You cannot do that. How dare you? ये गुस्सा निकल के आ रहा है और ये गुस्से को हवा दे रही है. I pretty much partially I agree with Kadru that Mamta was scared that Muslim votes are skipping. So she deliberately did it. But the hatred for Kadru against Hindus is also very evident. They are talking कि क्यों लेके निकले तलवार. They don't know the history. Tradition की बात कर रहे थे. तो tradition राम नवमी जब भी निकलती है, राम के शस्त्रों के साथ निकलती है इस देश में. सबसे पुराना इतिहास हिंदुओं का है. 8000 साल से राम नवमी निकल रहा है. आपके कहने से राम नवमी नहीं निकल रही है. And Bengal is no other different nation. It's not a nation within nation. That's what Mamta wants to. If she wants to become prime minister, but that's her ambition. Let's get Bengal out of the India. She'll be the prime minister. 35% population already, demographic changes.
Bengal, so
keep on inviting more Bangladeshis.
You don't know anything about Bengal.
Oh, I know everything
Please
about Bengal. Shut up. I know you're messing out Bengal. You deliberately did it. You deliberately did this.
No.
Imagine the audacity. Imagine the audacity. After Ram Navami Julus, after Ram Navami, the next day, they go inside the Hindu houses and they start painting stores. And the police is mobbed.
Tathagat is also on the debate right now. We got Tathagat also on the debate. Tathagat and Ajay Alok on the left. Tathagat and Ajay Alok are both on the left right now. Tathagat and Ajay Alok. One of our
you know what
Tathagat Roy.
Talking about. Yes, what is Jayaprakash Majumdar talking about? They are running a kleptocracy in Bengal. It's a rule by criminals. One full department of the state government is behind the bars from the minister downwards. Why? Because loads of money have been... Because theft, thievery, crime, dacoity, it's all one thing. Provoking a riot, and stealing money from people looking for jobs. It's one and the same thing. They are both crimes. And these crimes have been indulged in by Jayaprakash.
You are mixing up all issues.
No, they are not separate. They are not separate. You are a criminal party.
All issues.
You are a criminal party. You are a kleptocracy.
You are become a traditional festival in Bengal.
Theft of jobs. Theft of cattle. You are involved in your government is involved in everything. But your government, your chief minister, does not care about administration.
You are lying.
He sprints all over the state.
You are lying.
He doesn't sit in the secretariat. He didn't have any intelligence input. You're trying to say that she didn't have any intelligence input in what was going to happen in Howrah.
What is the
topic? She deliberately did not.
What is the topic? I have lost track.
What happened? I am talking about the riot.
Because Tathagat Roy is talking about so many things. I lost track.
No, 1 minute. Tathagat, 1 minute. Also bringing in Shikha. You see, now let me bring in the broader perspective to this debate.
I want to ask one question.
I also want to ask a question, Jayaprakash ji.
Please allow 30 seconds.
Allow me 10 seconds.
Yes.
Allow me 10 seconds. You know, I'll tell you, this new argument being created, Shikha Mukherjee, the BJP, Shikha Mukherjee, people say now, Priyanka, you're on the other side, they say, the BJP wants to create the narrative of Hindu khatre mein hai. How can Hindu khatre mein hai when the BJP is running the sarkar in Delhi? This narrative of Hindus are in danger is a lie, an artificial creation. Hindus are not in danger, nobody has been attacked. It is a lie being created by some people. And it is all make-believe, don't believe it. We are the secular people. We secular people are saying no Hindu has been attacked. And I wonder if that is the case, why was another procession in Hooghly after the violence in Howrah, Shikha Mukherjee, attacked with stones? And why were vehicles set ablaze the very next day? Was there no such attack? Will you put a blindfold and say no or no? You may say so, but I will refuse to believe. Or when BJP Shobha Yatra participants in Hooghly were chased down by 30 stone pelters, out of which only 11 were arrested, 19 went away. Shikha Mukherjee, will you say no or no? That also did not happen. Don't believe the pictures, don't believe the facts, don't listen to anyone, nothing has happened. And when the visuals from Hooghly, last night in fact, Priyanka, last night showed stones and even red bricks being thrown at the yatra, seemingly from rooftops.
I'd like to come in
seemingly
now
from rooftops. How was that allowed? How was that allowed? Could the state not have acted in advance, Shikha?
Yeah, okay. So first and foremost, you are assuming that I am blind and that I did not see what you saw, and that what the rest of the country saw if they were watching West Bengal news. But the point that I want to make, and I think this is something that needs to be raised, is that this sustained tension, this sustained clashes, the fact that the Chief Minister is now talking about 6th of April, when the Hanuman Jayanti, I believe, is supposed to happen, I believe that there is a method in this madness. And I call this kind of
Are you saying celebrating Hanuman Jayanti is madness?
No, I am saying that the
Ram Navami processions are madness?
The clashes are madness. Any kind of violence of this nature is madness. It is evil.
The clashes,
and therefore I'm saying very clearly
let her continue.
that there is political capital which all sides are harvesting from what happened on one day. And the sustenance of this violence is intended entirely for building more political capital. And it is shameful that at this point in time, we are watching tensions flare, properties being damaged, people running around in fear on all sides. And the purpose of it is very, very cynical. It is build political capital out of people's distress.
No, I have a very elementary...
Yes, absolutely right. Okay. I'll endorse her that political capital is being built. Why is it being built? Because there was a by-election recently in a place called Sagardighi in Murshidabad district in West Bengal, which Mamata Banerjee's party lost. And because of which, within her party, there was a furor that the minority vote bank is slipping out of her hands. So now, in order to harness or get back the minority vote, she has provoked this by not taking any steps in trying to prevent fracas in a location where a similar thing had taken place the last time.
Okay, now
Tathagata Roy, can we get some time?
Tathagata Roy, 1 minute. Jayaprakash.
Yes.
Jayaprakash, can I please ask you just a 15-second question? You must think very calmly, and Ajay Alok and Priyanka will just think very calmly. All of you are not answering my question. If a Hindu says, I want to be vocal and visible and proud in celebrating my religion, I am not instigating anyone. But today it is being said, or it is being suggested, that if a group of Hindus vocally, visibly and proudly celebrate Ram Navami or Hanuman Jayanti or carry out Shobha Yatras, it amounts to instigation. Would you say the same of other religions? This is a very simple thought. I don't know why Shikha Mukherjee, that's the point. Shikha Mukherjee, no, is it instigation? Where is the instigation? Where is the instigation? Where is the instigation? Who is instigating?
The instigation is taking out the Ram
How can
Navami.
chants of Jai Shri Ram provoke someone?
Arnab, can I say?
I want to
this ask a question,
comes out on
simple question
Muharram,
of 20
and when
seconds.
it passes from the streets, Mamata Banerjee doesn't say that time that please don't pass from Hindu areas. We don't get provoked.
Hello.
So why with the chants of Jai Shri Ram, this
The most popular project of Mamata
Who
Banerjee
provoked?
is Lakhir Bhandar.
Okay.
And
please don't talk about your Lucky Bhandar. Everyone knows and everyone is seeing every day how your ministers are landing in
that
jail.
it is appeasement of Hindus.
It is about supporting one particular community.
This
whom you call
Priyanka Tibrewal on record said, because the name is Lucky Bhandar, it is the appeasement of Hindus. Because that project, the money is available for Hindu, Muslim and everyone.
No, but okay.
This is, I want to know from them, what is their idea of appeasement.
So let us assume.
Today they are saying appeasement to Muslim.
Let us assume.
And when the name of the popular project was Lucky Bhandar, at that point this Priyanka Tibrewal said that it is appeasement to Hindus. Now let her explain that position. Which is appeasement?
What were your intelligence doing? What was your police doing? When you knew that there will be a danga, why didn't you stop?
That is the blame game from BJP.
Why was this callous
Are you going to
by the police administration?
Okay,
What was your police doing? What was your police doing?
Priyanka, and this question is to Ajal. Why carry out Ram Navami processions from Ram Navami till Hanuman Jayanti over so many days? This is also a new thing. Obviously, you are trying to take some political advantage of it. I have heard of Ram Navami processions on Ram Navami. How can Ram Navami processions carry on for more than a week?
First,
Ajay, what do you think?
No. First of all, Arnab, Ram Navami processions is not the proprietary of the Bharatiya Janata Party. It is being carried out by different groups. It's not only BJP in Bengal which is taking out Ram Navami procession. First of all, make this thing clear. Ram Navami does not belong to BJP only, it belongs to every Hindu. It belongs to you, it belongs to me. And we have all the rights to take out the procession. And administration is bound to give the protection. First of all, this is a constitutional crisis which President of India must look into. First time the Chief Minister of any state has said, Muslim area mein nahi jayega. Muslim area ko attack nahi karega. How can you, after taking the oath, you are sitting on a constitutional post? This is the open aberration of the constitution by the Chief Minister, which we are not looking into. This is a very serious issue. She is a threat to the integrity of the nation and integrity of the state. How can a majority population live peacefully when a CM has a biased mind? How can
Jayaprakash must answer
in a non-biased manner?
No, Jayaprakash has got to answer that question. This
is not a question of today's Ram Navami. This is a question of coming days. When any Muslims encroaches the property of Hindu, the administration keeps quiet.
Jayaprakash, 30 seconds to respond, Mr. Majumdar.
He has forgotten Delhi riot.
There is a mass migration.
30 seconds to respond, Mr. Majumdar.
He has forgotten Delhi riot. When Amit Shah was in charge of Delhi law and order, he said that Delhi riot area, that no other people or political party will be allowed to enter. He has forgotten all these things. In UP, Unnao or Hathras, the state government says no one will be allowed to go there.
You will be taught a lesson very soon.
Age-old practice of this, they have forgotten. I want to say that Ram Navami is now carried out for 4 days, 5 days. Every day,
the Hindu cultural integrity lies in Bengal, and you are ruining that.
Who is supplying those weapons? Who is supplying those weapons?
Hindu cultural integrity lies in Bengal, and you are ruining it.
What respect Mamata Banerjee holds for Hindus, because Mamata Banerjee herself, she has said that the chant of Jai Shri Ram is gali. She had come out from her car. We have all seen that video, and she had said that amaki gala gali korche. So this is the kind of respect she holds for Hinduism in her heart. That is why this hatred is so much visible. That she said that you will not enter Muslim areas.
Well, I'll thank you with that, ladies and gentlemen. I thank both of you for that. I'll thank both of you for that fiery debate, ladies and gentlemen. And on the other side, a total damn squib of what was seen to be an attempt by the BJP to project Rahul Gandhi's appearance before the court in Surat as a major event. Total damn squib there. Instead, the focus is on the Savarkar controversy, where Sharad Pawar has basically told Rahul Gandhi to keep shut. And interestingly, Rahul Gandhi hasn't said a word, while Devendra Fadnavis goes on the offensive all across Maharashtra. The Savarkar controversy, and why the BJP is on the front foot on that, and why the Vadra Congress has gone completely quiet on it. That and more in a few minutes. Please come back with us.